Happy New Year, all in society. I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful year, you and your family. If you are invested in the stock market in any way, you probably had a rough year mentally. We had to go through a lot this year. Remember in April, the stock market tanked because of President Trump's tariffs. But if you were not someone who invested emotionally, you didn't have fear, you did your research, you had conviction of your top picks, and you stayed invested throughout 2025, you had an excellent year. And more than likely, you probably beat the professionals. There was a stat that I heard on TV today on CNBC and Fast Money. And it was approximately 70% of actively managed portfolios actually underperformed the broader market's performance. Well, if you stuck with me this year, and this is not financial advice, I just sharing my experience and my strategies with you, then you had a killer year. You actually doubled the performance of the S&P 500 this year. And I will show you some data to back that up in just a moment. So I'm a testament. You do not have to be a professional. I don't have a degree in finance. I'm actually a college dropout. My experience is in the casino industry, but I quit my job. I sold my house and I went all in on the stock market, investing, long-term investing and options trading. Before I left my job, I went to multiple conferences and I understood this is the life that I wanted going forward. I wanted to be able to travel year round and work wherever I wanted, as long as I had an internet connection, my laptop or my cell phone, and using these large language models like your Google Gemini, your ChatGPT, your Anthropic, whatever is your flavor, whatever you choose, you can invest and invest smart as long as you keep your emotions out of it and you have a sound strategy. And by using these tools, you can beat the market consistently. This is my second year beating the market, beating the performance of the S&P 500. And I'm going to share my screen and we're going to get right to it. All right, here is my 2025 portfolio. So every year, it started this year, I started with X amount of money, and it's not a significant amount of money, less than $10,000. And I pick my favorite stocks, usually around November or December, and I invest in those companies. I keep the list small. This year, I only did 3 equities and 1 commodity. Okay. Now I will probably branch out and I will invest in other assets throughout the year, but I like to keep it small, no more than 10, because I want to be concentrated in my highest conviction picks. And so if you want to learn what those picks are, you're going to have to join the All In Society Patreon group, and it's only $10 per month. You can join for free as well. I post a lot of news and information in there, but if you want to see my trades in real time and see what I'm investing in real time, you're going to have to pay $10 per month to see that. Be mindful, this is not investing advice. I am not a professional. Anything that you see or hear on this page, please do your own research. I am not a professional. I stress this. I'm just sharing my experience and my strategies and how I'm beating the market and how I've really created a life for myself, and I love doing what I'm doing and hope I can teach and I can share this knowledge with you and it can change your life as well. But I repeat, this is not financial advice, and I would love for you to join the Patreon. The very least, if you like this video, make sure you like and make sure you subscribe and make sure you share with your family and friends. Okay, so as you can see here, make it, hopefully you guys can see it. Okay, I'll scroll it over a little bit. So the S&P 500 performed, had a year-end performance of about 19%. It's probably closer to 18 or 17% after today, because today's market was down. We'll talk about that in just a moment. But as you can see here, I closed out of my trades. Usually what I do this year, I sold a couple. Oops. Sorry, guys. I sold a couple things, and I'm going to take that cash and I'm going to use that to invest in the assets that I chose for this year. I also rolled some of the assets. Sorry, guys, I'm finger happy. I sold some of those assets and I transferred some of those assets that I wanted to keep long term to another portfolio to hold those long term. Okay, so I yielded about just under 40%, whereas S&P 500 had a return about 18 or 17% year to date. So I effectively doubled the performance of the S&P 500. And like I said, a lot of money managers in actively managed portfolios were not able to do that themselves. All right, I did want to share a little bit of information about some of the companies that we are invested in, and I had a post on Threads. A lot of times I'm not too active on Instagram. I'll get better at that, and I want to start posting on YouTube more frequently. I'll try to do it at least every other day going forward for 2026 and sharing my my journey for 2026. Again, we want to beat the performance of S&P 500. And also, if you like options trading, I'll show you a little bit of that here in a second. Actually, we'll go to it right now. As I stated, for 2025, we had around 40% performance on our long-term investing. And as far as options, we yielded about 32,000, just under 33,000 in realized profits from trading options. Now, my strategy is really leap options and swing. I don't do any day trading. Anytime I day trade, I'm terrible at it. I'm just going to be completely honest with you. So I like to buy time with my investments. So again, join the Patreon and you can get those options trades in real time and the long-term investing plays in real time. Okay, so the information that we got today this morning is regarding NVIDIA and TSM, Taiwan Semiconductor company. Ticker symbols are NVDA and TSM. So TSM, based on a report from Reuters, stated that Chinese tech companies placed orders exceeding 2 million units of NVIDIA's H200 chips, those more powerful chips that President Trump is allowing NVIDIA to sell to China. Now, we're still waiting for China to say, yes, these specific or select companies can purchase these chips from NVIDIA, but we haven't heard anything, as far as my knowledge, that China has said anything or give the green light to start purchasing those chips and NVIDIA to start shipping them. But it's why I thought this was very important, is because these Chinese companies want these powerful chips from NVIDIA, and how it correlates with Taiwan Semiconductor. They construct and manufacture all of the chips, not just NVIDIA's chips, Google's chips, Amazon's chips. I believe Apple has their own chips. And maybe even Meta might be creating their own chips as well to run in their data centers. And so if NVIDIA is getting all of these additional orders exceeding 2 million units, that is beneficial for TSM as well. Going a little bit further, it says strong AI demand for NVIDIA. NVIDIA is scrambling to meet strong demand for its H200 AI chips from Chinese companies and has asked TSMC to boost production. This surge in AI hardware demand is straining supply chains and highlights TSMC's critical role in AI chip market. Okay. On top of this, TSMC has begun volume production of its N2 technology chips this quarter, marking a significant advancement in semiconductor manufacturing and reinforcing its leadership in cutting-edge chip fabrication. Also a catalyst for TSM. And what I love to see here is price hike plans. So TSMC plans to raise prices for advanced chips starting in 2026. I believe this is early 2026, maybe first quarter, probably definitely second quarter, due to tight global supply. And it states analyst Kerry Huang from Concord Securities notes that this could support strong sales growth next year, making upcoming earnings guidance a key focus. Okay, so I did want to share that information with you guys. And before we get out of here, I just want to kind of go over how the market performed, because it is, I believe it's important for us to discuss how the market performed during the quote Santa Claus rally. Now, we still have 2 more days in this rally. It's the last 5 trading days of 2025 or any year, the last 5 trading days of any year, and then the first 2 trading days into the new year. Okay, so we look at the scoreboards, and the scoreboards are essentially the 3 major indexes. And that is the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, and the Dow. So S&P 500 today, I believe after hours it was up, especially after the news from TSM and NVIDIA. But as you can see, it dipped lower, almost down 0.75% for the day. The NASDAQ was down about the same, and the Dow was down 0.63%. So we want to look at the Santa Claus rally. It's actually down the past 5 days, almost 1% for the S&P 500. And for the NASDAQ, it's down over 1%, minus 1.36%. So a lot of it looks like we got some momentum heading into the last 5 trading days of the year. But during this Santa Claus rally, it is tapered off. So we would like to see the first 2 trading days of the year yield positively, hopefully get back to positive, and start the year off on a strong foot. I'm just going to kind of glance over some of the companies that we have in our long-term portfolio. Pretty much 10 strong companies that we have a decent amount invested in. In this group, we have over $10,000 invested in the market in these companies. And down here, it's less than $10,000. So in the heavy hitters, we have NVIDIA, Meta, Apple, Uber, Amazon, and Vertiv. So anytime we are talking about the market, we're going to focus on those companies. We'll also have extensive watch lists as well that we look outside of these companies. But a lot of it is going to be tech heavy, because that is where the high growth companies are. But also, we do like to diversify and get out of tech as well. We're big investors in gold. We love gold. Unfortunately, gold has been on a decline after CMC, I believe it is, I'm probably butchered it, or CMD raised the margin requirements, and that kind of tanked gold. As well, it's like it's geopolitical tensions are easing with potential end to the war between Ukraine and Russia, and the dollar has gotten stronger as well. Also, it's beneficial that the Fed lowers. It's beneficial for gold if the Fed continues to lower interest rates. But with some of the dot plot information, it looks like that is not a guarantee for rates to be raised considerably heading into 2026. But we like gold, Robinhood, Netflix, DraftKings, MP Materials, a rare earth play. And down here, we have a little bit of Microsoft. Microsoft is really not been performing very well. I think a lot of that has to do with a lot of the mixed signals, a lot of information and trepidation as far as OpenAI. They are definitely tied to OpenAI. They are big investors in OpenAI. And there's a lot of negative publicity and a lot of negative news that's about OpenAI and whether or not they can fill their kind of lost for words. Fulfill their requirements and all of the deals and everything that they have been reeling and dealing really the past 3 months or so. So that's kind of it for the market recap. We went over NVIDIA and TSM news. And again, I hope you guys join the Patreon. We've definitely been executing at a high level. Some of the folks that I even watch on YouTube and some of the information that they put out, they haven't even performed as well as I did as far as their long-term holds for 2025. So we're definitely have the right strategies. We're definitely using AI to make us smarter, more efficient, and better to be able to help us research and gather information and be able to execute on that. We're keeping our emotions at bay and just really sticking to the fact we're fundamental investors. So I hope if you're someone who wants to learn a little bit more about fundamental investing, a little bit more about our strategies, I hope you join our Patreon. You can join for free. Again, the link is going to be in the page bio and it should be in the description as well of this video. And if you really want to get busy with us, it's only $10 per month to see our trades in real time and really be able to interact with me in a more intimate level. I hope you guys have a wonderful New Year's Eve. Be safe out there. If you're driving, please don't drink and drive. If you are drinking, make sure you call an Uber or whatever the case may be to get home, and make sure you invest in Uber as well. All right, guys. Peace. I'll see you in 2026.